Hello everybody and welcome back to Cruizers Motosrports, and today we'll be looking at a digital rendering by JLord8 for what is supposedly a new take on the Beretta Z26. And since Berettas are kind of the theme around here, why don't you click that subscribe button for more Beretta goodness. First off, hats off to the Beretta community for taking this so well. I'm part of a lot of the classic muscle car groups, and every time one of these fantasy renders hits the web, the boomers in the muscle car groups go ballistic, thinking that one of their cars are going to be revived. As if Chevy's planning on making anything but the Corvette in the next 10 years. That being said though, while I'm not mad, I can't say I'm a fan of this hypothetical render. The first thing I'm put off by is the fact that it's just one picture, and why the only angle is the 3/4 front. The front looks about like any other mundane modern bow tie product, and mind you, that's not a slight against the renderer, that's just modern Chevy's yawn-inducing looks. The body lines kind of look like a two-door Malibu. However, it was never the front of the Beretta that really defined its look, but the rear. There were rumors in the late 80s that the Beretta would replace the Camaro. Even though it didn't, it's possible that's why the rear taillights kind of cut into the body like this, similar to the Camaro. Those taillights with the matching filler panels across the back gave the car a nice uniform line all the way across the back, and it was really its trademark look. From the front, my Berettas to this day are confused with both Cavaliers and Luminas from the era, so it's puzzling why this render wouldn't be of the rear 3/4 view. Second off, while I'm not looking for an exact replication of the classic Beretta, the lack of door frames, they put the door handles in the wrong spot. When the uninitiated take a look at my Berettas, I've been asked more than one time if I've deleted the door handles. It's then when I show them the door handles hidden in the B-pillar, and people in the 90s and now think that was a pretty unique feature. What's also not clear is if the rendering is meant to be front or rear drive. While being front-wheel drive seems to be a choice GM would make, and would certainly satisfy the purists like myself so it could go head-to-head against cars like the Civic Type R and the Golf R, I wouldn't be, nor have I ever been opposed to, the Beretta being rear-wheel drive. The Cavaliers and Berettas were the building blocks of my circle track racing days, and I've got a lot of fond memories racing these front-wheel drive cars around Mansfield and DeSoto speedways. However, there have been some really excellent rear-wheel drive swaps out of the Beretta community, and the Pro Street Berettas, man, they just look so cool. What I am a big fan of, however, is the aggressive wheel and brake combo on this thing. Even though most Berettas in the 90s came with one of a few assorted aluminum wheels on them, those wheels weighed as much as the Steelies that the base model came with. Braking was never the Beretta's strong point, with two smaller rotors up front and the dreaded drum brakes in the rear. It was very prominent for poor braking and very early brake fade after using them, 2 or 3 times. This render upgrade, thankfully, seems to rectify that problem. Like it or hate it, it's always fun to use your imagination and project how this car would fare in the market and how fun it would be to drive and own. The Beretta nameplate will never return though, as when it was introduced in 1987, GM was promptly sued by the Beretta firearms manufacturer. Not to mention, they probably haven't kept up on the legal rights to the name. A name that GM has recently gotten the legalities up to snuff on is, oddly enough, Cavalier. And in looking at this render, I believe I see, kind of a lot of Cavalier here. Perhaps it should have a Z24 badge on it and not a Z26 badge, as in the end, it's really giving off Cavalier vibes. So what do you guys think of this? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. On your way to the comments, check out the description for links to Cruizers social media and Cruizers merch with the Chevy Beretta Indy right on it, plus links to the Patreon and the new Buy Me a Coffee link. I thank those of you who sent this to me right away. You just thought of me, you saw Beretta and thought of me. That's terrific. And I thank the rest of you for watching and supporting the channel, my friends. And remember, those friends, they're the family you get to choose. I'll see you next week, fellow cruisers.